Lunch.
Solve local problems. There are over 700 clubs all over the world. From North America to Europe, Africa, and across Asia, we encourage more students to join or start a developer student club at their university.
Some students have overcome personal barriers with the help of their DSE community on their journey to become developers. These clubs help student developers learn through hands-jobs. They then identify challenges faced by local businesses, NGOs, and sometimes even their own universities, and build real solutions for real problems.
The workshop we had was Firebase, actions on Google, and we're about technologies that can provide in local communities.
DSE is a family. It's not just about programming, it's about the learning of teamwork.
A lot of villages face the problem of water, farming, maybe we can develop applications to solve this problem. Might be very ambitious for us as students to say that, but nothing is impossible. We can do it.
Developer student clubs around the world have already impacted so
Ano pag ako naman yung dadaan
many
dito, bawal
industries and in their community.
Ano pag kailangan
The future is bright for the next generation of students.
Some people think that they will never be considered an expert, but if you love what you do and you do it many times, you're becoming an expert whether you planned it or not. When I became a mother, I was expected to slow down my career. But I felt like moving even faster. I meet so many young women, and they are all so smart, passionate. I believe my children would be inspired if they that I keep investing in my
some friends told me, don't expect about employment. But in that time, and then I realized if I don't speak a good English, other developers from my country will face the same issue. Speak your own language. Teach your community what you know, and learn yourself from other experts.
When I was a teen in Nigeria, I really fell in love with the web, and I just really wanted to be a web designer. But unfortunately, I ended up becoming that I was still that teenage girl just with the web. I remember when this was all like gibberish to me.
You can just learn it on the internet.
Right? So I decided I was going to go for it. Me and the experts on YouTube. Modern layouts. Since I became a GDE, one of the biggest things that's changed is like my imposter syndrome. I mean, even when I got to the experts program, I would still feel like, but I'm not an expert. But then if Google thinks I'm an expert, then that's saying something, right? I keep thinking about all the experts that taught me when I was still a junior learning. And now I'm an expert too. All it took was hard work, perseverance, and having the passion to keep going even when it's tough. This is our time, right?
Please write down your answer to I'm remarkable because.
So I'm remarkable because.
It's really hard.
Okay, I'm done.
How did it feel to write it?
Weird.
Oh my god. I'm remarkable. I'm remarkable because all the kids that I have taught actually love me and they still remember me till this day. After I turned 40, for the first time in my life, I also tried things that I'm not very good at.
I can rhyme really well, but don't ask me to right now.
I'm funny. I think I am.
I follow my dreams once I figure them out.
I am remarkable because I challenge myself every day, even if these are small challenges.
Because I want my life to have meaning.
I'm remarkable because I survived cancer when I was 17.
Because I'm optimistic.
When I'm in tough situations, I stop and I smile. I'm a pretty good mom.
I think I'm really doing a good job.
That's it.
So how did it feel to say it out loud?
It felt kind of nice to say it out loud.
Good.
I think it's easier to say why we're not doing that well, to criticize ourselves.
You feel like you may have only one or two things to say, and then you realize that you have more, and you have more.
There's so many great things going on that when I forget it, all I have to do is think. It's like,
It makes you think like, what else can I do?
Start na daw ba yung video o ano ba? Ano dito?
And now have over 25,000 customers all over the world. And we've also reached the very thankful accolade of becoming the #1 small business partner for Google Workspace across Australia and New Zealand, and we'd really love to have you a part of our team. Now, we're proud to be supporting GBG and developing technology talent in the Philippines, as we have most of our team based in the Philippines, and I can't be there for the event today, but I'm really glad and hoping that you're having a great time. We chose to build our team in the Philippines because it's as close as possible to Australian business hours, which makes it really convenient for working. But of course, the #1 reason we came to the Philippines was for the talent. There is absolutely amazing customer service and talented young people ready to work in the technology space, and that's why it's such a great place for us to build our business. Now, of course, it should go without saying that the Philippines is the best place to holiday to when we have our team conferences, which we also have often as well. And we're on a search for more talent. So if we fit in if you're young, if you're ambitious, if you're a little bit geeky, then you might be a fit to work with IT Genie. Yeah. We have many roles open, from customer support to development to right project management in the business, and they may be working with Google Workspace, or it may be working with Google's Work from Home, so you can completely avoid the commute. And there's also flexible hours as well, so you can spend more time with your family and not have to worry about being on the road. But we also have an annual company conference where we fly everyone into the same location. Usually we'll pick a different island-based location each year for a fun time with the whole team, and that's how we bring together our remote team. Now, during the course of the year, we also have meetups with our teams in different cities, and dinners, and all the things that we love to keep our remote team feeling like they are connected. Some of the other benefits of working with us as opposed to working directly as a contractor via Upwork or Odesk, that you actually get all of the benefits and allowances of working with a traditional business without all of the extra bloat that comes with working for a BPO. And so we try and find that healthy middle ground between being a scaled organization but also having a small businessy feel as well that really looks after our team. If you're interested in a role with our business, head along to itgenius.com/careers, or you can just scan the QR code on this video and have a look.
I'm so drunk in love now, so drunk in love now, thinking about you, oh, but it feels so good, so good. Everything that we could be, you'll never be alone with me, you'll never be alone with me. All you need is just a little love, you'll never be alone with me, you'll never be look into your eyes, no way you're shaking, doesn't mean we're done for life, for life. Just stay here for one night, stay here for one night, oh, don't say maybe, doesn't mean we're done for life, for life. It's everything that we could be, you'll never be alone with me, you'll never be alone with me.
For those who are standing at the back, please occupy the seats in front as we have a long day ahead. There are still seats in front.
Developer student clubs are university-based communities where students learn about Google technology and use their skills to solve local problems. There are over 700 clubs all over the world. From North America to Europe, Africa, and across Asia, we encourage more students to join or start a developer student club at their university.
Some students have overcome personal barriers with the help of their DSC community on their journey to become developers. These clubs help student developers learn through hands-on workshops. They then identify challenges faced by local businesses, NGOs, and sometimes even their own universities and build real solutions for real problems.
The workshops that we had was Firebase, Actions on Google, and we're about to do ML. It's an amazing experience to learn about the impact that the technologies can provide in our local communities.
DSC is a family, and it's not just about the programming, it's about the learning of teamwork and leadership.
A lot of villages face the problem of water, farming, floods. Maybe we can develop applications to solve this problem. Might be very ambitious for us as students to say that, but nothing is impossible. We can do it.
Developer student clubs around the world have already impacted so many students in their universities and people in their community. The future is bright for the next generation of students.
Yeah, that's right. I'm actually really grateful because today counts as the 15th anniversary of Google Developer Group Manila, and we are all here to join the party. Imagine 15 years of fulfilled collaborating and learning more about new technology. That's right. We have so many talks for today for you to choose from. So, which talks are you most interested in? Yeah.
Outside the convention center, such as the GDG photo booth, wherein you could get your own printed photo card and a 360 DevFest video.
Yeah, I saw some people lining up over there earlier. And also, if you're into digital media, you can also use our community birthday filters on Facebook and Instagram to celebrate DevFest 15th anniversary as shown on the screen.
And don't forget to use the official hashtags when uploading your pics and bits to increase your chances of winning our raffle.
We have DevFest 2022 shirts, GDG Manila hoodies, and a brand new Google Home Mini to be given away.
Yes, that's right. Now, before anything else, we just want to share a few house rules to help us have an amazing and safe event. So first off, for the safety of everyone, masks should be worn at all times, and we recommend disinfecting with your alcohol or hand sanitizers often.
That's correct. Second, outside food and drinks are not allowed at the venue. We are also in a BYOL or bring or buy your own lunch. So if you do not have a packed lunch with you, no worries, as SM Aura offers a wide variety of restaurants that you can choose from.
Lastly, go ahead, build your network, learn things,
And have fun. All right, awesome. Now, please allow us to introduce you to one amazing woman. She started organizing GDG events since 2016, and she manages passionate volunteers in GDG with the goal of helping developers be better developers. She's currently the sales manager of CloudMile Philippines. Here to welcome everyone, please give a big round of applause for our community lead of GDG Manila, Faye Estacio.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Devfest Manila 2022. So I hope this is working now. Okay, so yes, we're celebrating our 15th birthday, our anniversary. So since we're Filipinos and we love games, may pinrepare kami sa inyong very hindi active na game. So hindi kayo mag-jumping jack this time. So what you will have is 5 t-shirts and then 10 stickers. So since we're celebrating 15, might as well you get 15 prizes. So what you just have to do is kapakapain yung mga nasa chairs nyo, may stickers dyan, and then you have to go to Jera to claim your prizes. So medyo may kakaiba dyang stickers, colors, that you can check out. So per color, and then per sticker, yun yung corresponding shirt or stickers that you will get. May nakakita na ba? taas kamay lang. Pupunta si Vera sa... Okay. Ilan na? We have one here. Okay, so si Jera, our logistics head, will be there. Okay. So if wala, wag din na pong bale-balentong inyong upuan, baka wala talaga. But next time, we'll have raffle prizes pa at the rest of the day. So, are we settled? Hi! Okay. So, just a quick background about who's we're celebrating today. So GDG Manila, formerly known as GDG Philippines, started way back November 19, 2007. So we're celebrating it right now. So from then, our main goal is to help developers be better developers. And then we're also a group of volunteers doing this together to make sure that we help the community grow. So over the years, these are the key milestones that we've done. So starting 2007, up to hosting our first Devfest in 2010, 2011 first I/O, 2014 Women Tech Makers, and also we launched Android Masters. And then 10th anniversary last 2017, and then during the pandemic, 2020, we first hosted our online Devfest. And then 2020, right now, you're here with us celebrating our 15th birthday. Thank you so much for being with us today. So behind all these, for the past 4 to 5 years, so medyo tumatanda na kami, but here are the organizers who are with you for the past 4 to 5 years. So I have Justine, our Women Tech Ambassador and Creatives Head. We have Trisha for Comms, MJ for Programs, Joy for Finance, Jera for Logistics, JJ for Development, as well as Stephen. So without these people, amazing people, we will not be able to have a successful GDG events for the past years. So behind this team, we also have volunteers who are with us today. They're the ones wearing green lanyards and t-shirt as well. So just to provide you a quick background of what will happen today, I know you have copies of this all over the internet, but let me just run down with you everything. So after me, we'll have me, and then after that, we'll have 2 parallel sessions. So we have track A and track B. Track A will happen here in plenary, and then track B will happen in the meeting room. So that will end for 40 minutes. After that, we'll have lunch. So as mentioned by Aaron, please, you can roam around Asamora and grab your own lunch. But be sure to be back here around 12:30 to have your desserts. And then we'll move forward with another set of talks. And then after that, a short break. And then another talks again. And then by 4 p.m., we'll be back here all at the plenary. So you'll have a brand segment from our generous sponsor, Cloud Stuff, and then a closing keynote, and of course, raffle again. So on tracks A and track B, just to align, feel free to move from one track to another. So it doesn't mean na andito kayo ng 11:20, kailangan until 4 p.m., andito na kayo. But you can move around track A and track B. So that's it. If you have further questions, feel free to ask the organizers. So this one, I won't tackle more because the hosts were able to provide you these things. So as early as now, bago tayo magkalimutan, please feel free to take a photo of this one. We're very happy to know your thoughts, know what we can still improve, and know what are the things you still want to have in the next few events of GDG. So that's it. Thank you very much, and we hope you enjoy your celebration today.
So thank you so much, Faye. And we would also like to thank our sponsors for making this event possible.
That's correct. GDG DevFest 2022 is powered by Google.
Made possible by Google Developer Groups Manila and Women Tech Makers Manila.
Co-presented by Cloud Staff.
in cooperation with IT Genius,
Brought to you by Hooray 360 Video Booth.
with our community partner PWA Filipinas.
Thank you, partners. Hi. Hello po. Andyan po kayo. Thank you. Speaking of, one of our partners are giving away freebies as Ate Faye told us earlier. So they're giving away 4 Google Home Minis. So if you want to join the raffle, make sure to register by their booths over there po sa right side nyo. Alright. So now if you want to post all your selfies and experiences, make sure to include our official hashtags for today. Hashtag GDG, hashtag GDG Manila,
Hashtag DevFest 2022, hashtag DevFest MNL.
Alright, now take note that we'll choose the best post and you'll win a prize.
You know what, Aaron? I also want to win a prize.
Talaga, can we win? Anyway, regardless, I think we should take a selfie with our audience. Should we go?
Post it using the hashtag.
Yeah, simulan na natin ang selfie and social media.
Well, we're still fresh, right?
Oo, true. Alright, so
Everyone.
hi guys, ready your faces. Kunwari kita kayo ha.
So let's take a selfie.
1, 2, 3.
Smile.
All right, so you'll see this photo together with our official hashtags later.
And it's time for our opening keynote. Our next speaker manages the Google developer community in the Philippines, Vietnam, and Greater Mekong countries. She was once the CEO of the biggest incubators in central Vietnam, with more than 10 years working in the startup and technology industry. She is passionate about helping developers upskill, build better, and succeed through Google Developers Community Programs. Please welcome the Community Manager from Google Developer Relations Ecosystem Southeast Asia Team, Ning Nguyen.
Good morning, everyone. Kamusta ka? Thank you so much. It's my pleasure and honor to be invited to speak at the special event today. Let me introduce a little bit about myself. My name is Yi, Akoshi Yi. I try a little bit to learn something in Philippines. So this is my second time in Philippines, but the first time I speak at the GDG Manila event. The previous one is with the Google I/O in Cebu. Yeah, so today I'm very happy to be here with the amazing team and amazing people for you spend your time today to join the GDG DevFest Manila 2022. Yes, maybe you give me an applause. So. Okay, so today my section will share a little bit about DevFest and the other program I believe will help you, and you already have some information in via some video in the beginning of the section today about Women Tech Maker, about Google Developer Experts, and about the Women Tech Maker Ambassador. So I will share with you more details, and I hope that this program will help you on your career path related to technologies. May I ask some questions? So raise your hand if you joined the DevFest for the first time. Oh my God! So this is the first time you go here to celebrate 15 years celebration. Nice. Let me find who joined DevFest for the second time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it's still around 20. So this year, DevFest is celebrate 11 years. So who joined the DevFest for 11 years in Manila? No one. Thank you. But thank you so much because you are belong with us for a long time. And about the DevFest, you can see DevFest is an annual centralized tech conference hosted by Google Developer Group. And 2022 will be the 11 years of DevFest, which mark the beginning of the second decade of the GDG communities. And all the information about the DevFest, you can take a look at the website I already put on the slide. For the DevFest objective, we try to, create a platform for all the developers, for all the tech lovers who want to connect, who want to create and build product, build solution. And we have community learn and build successful on Google technologies, Google product. Today we have gathered together to celebrate 15 years celebration for GDG Manila. The words not enough to, thank you for everything the GDG Manila hosting, the GDG Manila have done for the community in Manila cities. And I would love to, use this opportunity to say thank you so much to Faye, the lead of the GDG Manila and her amazing team. Yes. And I want to take the opportunity to thank you for all sponsor partners, Cloud Staff, Genius, IT, Hooray 360s, and PWAs for amazing support and come together with the GDG Manila this time. Yes. And I want to say thank you so much for all the speakers today. They are flying from Singapore. Who from Singapore? Yes. From Indonesia? Yes. And from Malaysia? She will be around today. And especially all the speakers from Philippines. Yes. And we celebrate 15 years with many participants today. I guess around 500 participants to join our event today. So give an applause again. Thank you. Yes. GDG are the part of the global communities, and so far we have more than 1,100 GDG around the world. And we have GDG in more than 155 countries. We host around 7,000 events involving more than 600 developers around the world. I will have a question, and I already bring my two gifts to the event today. If you have the right answer. How many GDG chapters this year in South Asia? Anyone can guess? Oh, I saw someone raised hand there. Can you help? Please note that this is the South Asia. It's over there. So what are your answers for this?
2.
2? Okay, I will repeat the question again. How many GDG chapters in the South Asia this year? May I have another? This one. Okay, can you stand up so they can know you are?
9.
9? Hey, how many GDG chapters in South Asia this year? I will suggest. I will give you a. It's more than 20. The girl next to. 60? 60? Under 60. More than 20 and under 40. Who will be the next one? Okay.
33.
33. Nearby. Okay, this girl.
30.
30. No, more than 33. So 2 more opportunities. Yes.
36.
36. The last opportunities. Can that guy? Yes. On the t-shirt, the white t-shirt. Yes.
It's 37.
37. Last opportunity. Nearby 37. So who will be the person lucky So I let you decide it. I let you decide it. It's quite difficult to get my gift, right?
35.
So you can guess exactly the number right now, right? So I love the red one. I love the red one. The red one. Yes.
38.
Exactly. Finally, I can count that exactly. Can you help me to give a gift for him? Oh, finally, I can have the numbers. Okay. Do you want to have another gift? Okay. So, how many GDG chapters in Philippines? Quick. Let's give the microphone for her. Is it 10? 10? I'm so sorry. Nearby 10. So let's try with this girl again. 19. 19? Near 10. So sorry. Okay, you decide it. Yeah, someone, quickly. Nice, exactly. So the gift is for you. Yeah, I hope that after my sharing today, so all of you can know about how many GDG chapter in the South Asia, how many chapter in Philippines, and if you have, keen on any activity with the GDG, you can join it. We have, I will share with you detail about all our chapter later. Okay, so in 2021, we have 37. But this year we onboard new chapter in Indonesia, so we have 38. And in Philippines, we have 9 GDD chapters, and we are hosting 127 events, yes, last year, involve more than 49,000 developers. Here are the list in case you want to check out. So yesterday I already shared this post, this image in my social media and shout out to celebrate all the GDG chapter in Manila, in Philippines this year. Yeah, so all of them will host event in this November. And GDG Bibureau have done with that event with 700 participants last week. And this week we have Manila and CDO are happening right now. Next week is the park with so many GDG chapter hosting Devfest around. And we still have another by GDG Manila next week and Cebu. Yes. So that's all about Devfest and Google Developer Group. I want to share with you more about another program that I believe will beneficial for yours. The first one, we can go with the Google Developer Experts. Anyone in the room know about the Google Developer Expert program? Oh, just a few. So today we have so many speakers who join us today. They are both the local experts and the Google Developer Experts from another countries. So this is the global community of experienced developers who love to share the knowledge with others. So to become the Google Developer Expert, you need 3 requirements. The first one is about English, but I think that's not the barrier with the Philippines, right? The second one is you need to be master on the expertise like the Google technology, for example, Android, Firebase, web or cloud or something like that. And the third part is very important, like you need to be more contribution, more helping with the community. Like you have more public speaking, you have more like contributing on writing blogs, sharing your knowledge, GitHub, Stack Overflows, everything. So when you are ready with all these things, you can contact with me or Faye or the team here or any Google Developer expert, and we can help you to onboard with the process. And when you become official, the GDE, you will have more and more support from us, acknowledgement by Google's invitation to exclusive projects, access to Google team and many invitation to events, and even if you can have got the spot to travel around to share your knowledge. And here are the information about the Google Developer Expert. So far, we have more than 1,000 developer experts around the world. Here are the list of 6 Google Developer Experts in Philippines so far. In case you want to check out and reach out to them, I want to share with you a small thing. So actually, as the community manager, I am looking for the first the first Google Developer Expert female in Philippines. So if any one of you is in the room keen on about that, so let me know. We can together build a story about the first female Google Developer Expert in Philippines. Yes. Okay, the next one is about Google Developer Student Club. Anyone know about this program? Yeah, so many. We also have some Google developers, student leader today join our event because last week we have amazing summit with 42 Google developer student lead from all the IT university around Philippines. We gather at Manila, visit Google office, and have time together to share and connect. And if you keen on any activity about Google Developer Student Club, you can check out that information. The last one is about Women Techmaker Ambassadors. I believe in our room we have Justin from the GDG Manila. She's one of the Women Techmaker Ambassadors. And we have another 8 Women Techmaker Ambassador in Philippines. So they are so amazing, working to dedicate to helping all women try intake through community, visibility, and resources. Yes. And my slide missed one image. And the last thing I want to share in my session today is more story from myself. So you can see in slide, the first picture in the left is me when I was student in the university. So that's the biggest event I with my team hosted when I was a student. And at that time, we create the largest, the world record, my math is with the most pieces, and we broke the record from China on 2022 and Singapore in 2010. And the next image in me in US, but it missed out when I sent the slide to the organizers in US. And I was the Google developer student, was the Google developer group leader like Face before. And I work with the community without any expectation, just follow my passion and helping communities. And the next one is me, representative for Women Techmaker Ambassador, joined the summit in Thailand. And the last one is the picture of me hosting the biggest and the largest hackathon for 1,000 participants. And in the center is me with the Google Developer Relation team in Google. So I travel around more than 10 countries and bring more, activity, more sharing to all the developers in around Southeast Asia. And I would say, you cannot connect the dot looking forward, but you just only can connect the dot looking backward. I even don't know what I was doing will connect and like having me right now. And I believe dots will be connect somewhere in future of your plans. And I believe and I hope that today DevFest will be a dot of your life. So try to get out today, try to meet a new friend, try to learn some new thing, because some new thing, and make it become the dot of your whole thing tomorrow. And happiness is a journey, not a destination. I hope that today we're rising together with developer community by learn, by connect, by inspire. So thank you so much for all you today. Thank you. Before closing, I want to show you how to remark today by redeem the badge. So if you are the attendee, you can redeem the badge at this link. With speaker, you still can redeem the badge and that link. So that's the way to remark that you are here with us with GDG Manila to celebrate 15 years anniversary. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lee, for that insightful speech. Now, it really wonders, no, like, super dami talaga napupuntahan ng Google and Google developers. Now, just a PSA, someone left his vaccination card at the registration. So if you're this person, please get your card at the registration booth. Also, we just like to iterate our hashtags for today. So you can post it on your social media accounts. Hashtag GDG, hashtag GDG Manila, hashtag Devfest 2022, and hashtag Devfest MNL.
Now, before anything else, we just want to say hi to our Facebook and YouTube live viewers. Hi, everyone.
Hi, hello.
I hope you're enjoying DevFest in the comfort of your homes. Unfortunately, I'm afraid, Aaron, that we have to part ways.
Huh? We're just getting started.
No, DevFest is not done yet, but I'll be going to the breakout room and we'll flash the program flow on the screen.
Ah, yes, you're hosting our breakout room pala. So we're just going to wait for the program flow. So anyway, who here is interested for dealing with difficult clients and how to avoid them? Raise your hand. Ay, kala mo ko perfect na client.
So, how about who here is interested for the Android fireside chat? I'm seeing some hands.
Oh.
How about introduction to solution architecture? I guess a lot of people. So see you in the meeting room 8 upstairs.
Ayan, so we have it on screen again. So let's repeat what's for track B.
So for attendees who are interested to attend the talks on Android Fireside Chat and Introduction to Solution Architecture this morning, please join me at meeting room 8 upstairs.
And for attendees who want to attend the talk, dealing with difficult clients and how to avoid them and integrate Firebase auth to your full stack application, you can just chill here as this would be right here in our plenary hall. So we'll give you just a few minutes to decide and transfer upstairs. All right, so see you later. Bye, Jazz.
Bye. So for those who want to go to the breakout room, hurry up as we have limited seats. So now let's go upstairs.
Yeah, the breakout room is only for, I think, 150.
Yeah, right. See you.
Bye. That's your mic. For others who want to stay here at the plenary, you can move forward so you can occupy the seats in front. Remember that the breakout room is only for 150 persons. So if you are not seated upstairs, you may go back here at the plenary.
It's 11:05 a.m.
While waiting for the others, feel free to experience our booths outside and also our sponsor booths on the right as we'll start at
It's 11:06.
11:10.
It's 11. All right, everyone, please settle down. We're going to start in a few minutes. IG stories post, please tag us on IG at GDG Philippines so we can repost it
on our official account. Now let's call in our next speaker. She has 6 years of diverse IT experience in project management, business analysis, and development. She has worked inside and outside the Philippines and is always up for opportunities, challenges, and growth. She's passionate about learning, servant leadership, and its impact on project and people. Here to talk to us on how to deal with difficult clients and how to avoid them, please welcome Jeline Deroy. Give her a round of applause.
Hello. Hi, good morning. So there's a lot of people here. Good, good, good. So feeling ko yung mga nandito, madaming sakit sa ulo yung kliyente. Tama? Para lahat So yeah, good morning. The thing about this talk is it is not aimed for project managers only. It is aimed for the whole project team. It's not only applicable for difficult clients, even difficult person na kawork nyo, it's still applicable to them, right? So yeah, just to have a quick introduction about myself. How do I use this? Okay, so I'm just gonna walk you through in my adventures for the past 6 years. I started off as a back-end Java developer, to be honest. So I'm not sure paano ako napunta dito sa current role ko, but I did love the technical work actually. And then way back in 2018, I became very curious on what is it like on the business side. I wanted to see the projects holistically. So I was in the technical side, now I want to go on the business side. And then I became a business analyst. And then I was very lucky to have a ninja work or yung part-time work. Sino dito may part-time? Oh, okay, that's interesting. And I know very common magkaroon ng part-time sa IT world talaga, di ba? So it's good, and it's also a good extra income as well. And then in 2019, I went back to becoming a back-end Java developer again and worked outside for about 2 years. So I stayed in Malaysia for 2 years. And finally, last 2021, I became a full-time project manager for 2 companies. And then this year, I moved in customer success management, and now the most the best role that I am currently having as a Scrum Master. So ito yung naging adventure ko, and this talk will revolve in the experiences that I had when I was just beginning my career, because it is hard to really deal with difficult clients, especially when you don't know how to manage them, right? So yeah, but first please do help me describe ano ba yung difficult clients for you. Anyone? I will be, please get their email addresses if anyone yung sasagot. I will be sending you Grab vouchers when you answer. 3 siguro. Yan. Difficult client. Describe one.
Last minute magsaset ng revision kung kailan patapos na.
Tama. Sige, isa pa. Your email address, please, ha? Ay, kahit later na. Another one. Anyone? This guy.
Scope creep clients.
Okay. Okay. In front. And this one. The guy in polo.
They really don't know what they want.
Okay. That's those answers are really good description kung ano nga ba yung difficult clients. And I believe all of the projects may difficult clients. The thing is, hindi mawawala yung difficult clients eh. And in our projects, they won't be gone at all, right? What we need to do is, know how to really deal and manage them. So they come in different forms, tulad ng sinabi nyo. We have clients na lahat na lang ng i-escalate nila, they're gonna escalate everything as if it is the end of the world. Na, di ba? Oh. It's funny how everyone can relate. Na lahat na lang, you need to deploy this ASAP. You need to fix this ASAP. Our business won't work without this blah, 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 blah. And then there are those na even on your weekend, they are calling you, right? Kahit naka-out na kayo, they are chatting you. They are calling you. Ang pinakamasama, you are in the middle of the beach, you are in Boracay, tinatawagan pa kayo. Diba? While you are on your leave. So, yeah, we all have those clients. And there are also those clients na lahat na lang, they want to escalate everything to your supervisor or to anyone higher than your role currently, right? So I believe we can all agree that we can call these clients our Karen, yung Karen natin sa projects, right? So please put in mind the name Karen for now. So difficult clients are part of the cost of doing business. So again, what I mentioned a while ago is that difficult clients, they will always be there. We just need to know how to manage them. It is the cost of business, meaning we are doing business. Why? Because we have clients to serve, right? We cannot choose our clients. Hindi pwedeng heaven-sent client lang or mababait na client lang yung i-cater natin, right? So, yeah. Especially now that we are in the end user era. End user era is, we are now in an era na our voices are louder now than ever. Our opinions matter most now than ever. For example, social media platforms. During the pandemic, nag-boom yung TikTok, right? And then count how many days lang. Instagram has Instagram Reels. Facebook has, what do you call it? Is it Reel as well? And then, funny thing is, pati YouTube may ganun na din. Diba? Parang, diba streaming app yung YouTube? Bakit may ganun na din siya? So the thing is, companies adjust now on what the users wants, the end users needs, the end users wants, right? And then another sample here is streaming platforms. Sino dito kakabili lang ng Disney Plus? Oh. Diba? Ang dami din. We only have Netflix before, right? And then when Netflix boomed, the other companies saw na, hey, this is what the end users want. This is what they need. Now, ang dami nang nawala na movies sa Netflix and then they created their own platforms, right? So we are now in the end user era where customer now matters more than ever. So according to CPA Advisor, difficult clients have a huge cost to business, especially when they are mismanaged. Why? Because difficult clients contribute to unhappy workplace. If unhappy yung workplace mo, there will be stress-related health problems. Wherein there will be staff turnover. A lot of people resign because of toxic environments, diba? Unhappy ka na. And we all know, we are in IT world. It's an open secret na we know we can get a lot more if we go to another company. It's just that we are staying in our current company because we are still happy, right? So, difficult clients contribute to you. Saan ka ba naman gaganahan pumasok if papasok ka, may defect, or sisigawan ka ng kliyente mo, di ba? So, we all tend to just resign and move on with our lives. It will also cause poor business reputation. We need to remember whenever we represent or whenever we face clients, we do not represent ourselves. We represent our company, our company's name, diba? Whatever we do, if negative yan, hindi naman yung tatatak sa kanila, rather yung company kung saan ako nagtatrabaho, right? And if I do positive thing, it will also be the same. We represent our company whenever we face in front of the client. And lastly, ultimately, kapag nangyari lahat to, there will be slow profit stream. And lahat tayo damay doon. I know sa IT news ngayon, ang daming nag-lay off, right? So lahat tayo damay whenever things are being mismanaged. So this is the importance why we need to know how to deal with those clients. And according to PMI is a globally recognized institution, project management institute, wherein they are the ones who build and author yung body of knowledge ng project managers. Often, difficult clients are frustrated clients. So, magkaiba kasi yun eh. Iba yung mahirap siya from the start and iba yung naging mahirap na siya along the way. Right? Sino dito kick-off meeting na masungit agad yung client? Oh, wala, di ba? Very few, 2 hands. Masungit agad yung client. So wala, di ba? It means that there is a reason why the client becomes difficult. And again, most of the time, it is because they are frustrated with the output. So why are clients frustrated? These are the common reasons. Timeline is late. Unmet expectations, low quality output, low visibility, unclear communication or processes, or sometimes personality just doesn't meet with your company or your personal values. But again, at the end of the day, we go back. Difficult clients is the cost of businesses. They are the reasons why we are working for companies. Okay, G, now how can I handle my next client? So dito ako pinaka-proud because I was able to think about this one when I need to empty my mind. I think this was just last Wednesday. Let me introduce you to the technique that will be very useful. We need to Karen the Karens. Okay? So familiar kayo sa meme na yan. So we need to Karen the Karen. I will be sharing you this technique. Number 1, know and resolve their concerns. So, syempre, before, again, hindi magagalit or the clients won't be difficult if there is no reason. They're very rare. Dito, only 2 hands showed na the clients are difficult at the very start during the kickoff meeting. But in reality or commonly, during the kickoff meeting, everyone is happy, right? Hi, MG, I'm the project manager. I will be handling your project. I hope we have a good working experience, blah, blah, blah. Di ba? Puro ganun yung introduction natin when we are facing the client, meeting up with the client the first time. So, next is how do we know their concern? So, let's relate it when we have a defect in development or in production. But for now, this is a great tip. Always include this one when you are in heated conversation with the client. As I understand, you are unhappy or you are not satisfied with the things that we are doing, blah, 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 because of list down why. So it will also give or it will also validate their feelings that okay, so I may be right as well. Even if they are wrong in their heads, they are always right, diba? It's just, again, it is how we manage the clients. So if we have a bug in production, what do? We look at the logs, we look at where did it go wrong. Nag-work to sa local ko nag-work to during the staging. Even sa UAT, nag-pass to, diba? So ngayon, production, nagkaroon ng defect. Titingnan tayo ng logs, titingnan natin lahat ng dashboards na meron tayo, titingnan natin. Right? Now, usually, we create a band-aid solution. Now, for the sake lang na matapos na maka-deploy na ulit, and then after that, we will go deeper. We will get the root cause and fix it with permanent solution, right? That is our process as developers on how we deal with defects. Now, this is a great problem-solving technique. One of my QAs before shared this one to me, and it has been very, very helpful since then. This is what we call the 5 whys, or it is a root cause analysis technique or process wherein you ask yourself 5 times why. This is a very simple explanation, very simple example. The problem is, nahuli ka ng MMDA. You were beating the red light. You were beating the red light, and pagpasok mo na late ka, sino sisisihin mo? When you come in the office, you will say, nahuli ako ng MMDA. Diba? But if we look at the root cause of bakit ka nga ba nahuli? Why? You were late for work. Nagmamadali ka na. Why? Because you woke up late. Again, why? Alarm didn't work. Why? Exhausted battery. Your phone is low-bat. Diba? And then, again, bakit low-bat yung phone mo? Because you forgot to check your phone before you slept. So that is the root cause. Bakit ka na late, hindi mo na-charge yung phone mo? Diba? It's not because of the MMDA enforcer. It's because hindi mo na-charge. Now, after you get the root cause, you now know how to have an action plan. You can now list what is my next step for me, for this thing not to happen again. So possibly, you will buy, what do you call this? That one, yung alarm clock na manual na nilalagyan ng batteries, di ba? Or a digital alarm clock, or every night, you will create a habit wherein you charge your phone every night na. So you won't be late next morning, or you won't be late next time. So that is how we get the root cause of a problem. And really, yeah. So next is actively listen. So with the sentence kanina, yung as I understand, you were upset because of blah, blah, blah. You confirm. Active listening is an act of confirmation if what you understood is correct. So always actively listen, not only to clients, but also to to any difficult person that you are dealing with, to your managers or to your colleagues. Active listening as a skill is gold. Next is respond promptly. So, worst case that you do in a heated situation is not responding at all, or responding very late. Why? Just imagine you are in a relationship. Sino dito, what do you call that one? With someone else? With someone? So imagine, nag-aaway kayo, you are in the middle of the argument, and then the other person stop responding your text, your chat, or whatever. Di ba? It will fume yung galit nyo. It will be ignited more. Same goes with the clients, because again, clients are still person. They are still people. So what we feel kapag ginagawa sa atin, they feel that as well. And most importantly, no response is a response. And it shows a lot. It sometimes say na they are not important, their concern is not important, and na, they are not your priority as project team. And when in case, sila yung client ng projects nyo. Diba? So always respond promptly. Next is stay calm, express privately. So, kahit sinisigawan ka na ng kliyente, always stay calm. There has been studies in psychology wherein if you stay calm, the other person slowly magsasubside yung init ng ulo niya, yung anger. Sometimes because we just need to release our anger, diba? It's just that minsan we release it wrongly. But I personally experienced already. My client kami, this was way 2021. My client is a bank institution wherein lahat sa kanila mainit yung ulo nila. So, nasigawan kami ng team ko, but we remained calm. At the end of the call, medyo kumalma na siya. And then, I believe that was the last time na sumigaw siya in front of the team. So, kasi somehow, as a person, we are naturally, we do have conscience. So, somehow makukonsensya siya na, wait, bakit ko sila sinisigawan? Eh, sila nga, they always respect me. Every time na I get very angry and so on. So, always remain calm. And yung express privately, I do advise you to read yung ranting or venting out with colleagues. You would love to see how many advice you na vent out to other people, not to colleagues. Kasi somehow, yung ranting out within the team, it also impact doon sa unhealthy environment, stress-related problem, and so on. So doon nag-uumpisa yung fall down natin within the team, mentally, diba? So lastly, navigate through learnings. Sabi nga nila, a history not learned is a history repeated. Tama? Okay. So, always put your learnings, always implement, always change as needed. Let us all be agile. We don't need to work on Scrum projects to be agile. Agility is a mentality. So we need to be agile in things, change as needed, improve as needed. Kasi if we won't learn to our mistakes, ulit at ulit lang tayo. And there is no sense at all if if we still face clients tapos paulit-ulit lang din yung ginagawa natin. And if nasa restaurant kayo, nag-serve sa inyo ng, I guess there was this viral video na nag-serve ng panis yung isang food establishment. Tapos naulit-ulit, panis ulit yung na-serve niya. So, di ba, lalong nagalit yung client, lalong nagalit yung customer. So again, let us not repeat our mistakes. Okay? So again, this is the parent. The parents know their concerns, actively listen, respond promptly, express privately, navigate through learnings. Okay? So I put there, wala yung slide ko. Okay, I must have updated it late. But I put their G 2022 para ipapatent ko to. But yeah, now that was the situation wherein you are already dealing with difficult clients. But to be honest ako, I never treat my clients difficult. Even if sigawan nila ako, even if late sila or last minute sila mag-send ng mga kailangan nila, I try my best not to see them as difficult clients kasi it will already affect yung perspective ko towards them na every time may ipapagawa sila, inis na ako. And somehow, and we don't know, but subconsciously, it affects our quality. So let us also try to change that perspective and let us be proactive by avoiding having frustrated clients. So how to do that? Number one, communicate effectively and proactively. Effectively and proactively. So we communicate dapat, again, actively listening. We are confirming everything that they are saying, that everything we understand is the way they understand things, and vice versa. We, as project managers, 90% of the job is communication. So it is our job to make sure that the communication line from stakeholder to the project team to whatever person man yan ay crystal clear. So as developers, how, or as project team, how can you apply this one? If may defect ka, may deployment on Monday, it's already Wednesday, you know hindi kaya siya ma-deploy on Monday, then tell it agad. Dito papasok yung proactiveness. Tell it to your manager agad, hey, we cannot deploy on Monday. Is it possible to move the deployment on Wednesday or whatever? Why? Kasi your project manager then now have a strategy or can think of a strategy, okay, we cannot deploy on Monday. Then your manager will, okay, sabihin ko to my client, to our client, we cannot deploy on Monday, is it possible to blah, 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 blah. You know, the process of communication, it doesn't start and stop in project managers only. It should be holistic. As a project team, our roles, we have a critical role in the crystal clear communication. It should always be 360, right? So if you are not like that right now, I hope by Monday you will be proactive now in communication, delays or anything to your project managers. Because it really helped a lot your project itself. Next, avoid surprises. If may deployment kayo on Monday, nag-meet kayo Friday, tinanong ka ng manager mo, uy, kaya ba i-deploy talaga on Monday? Noon mo lang palang gagawa niya ng paraan. But if not, you need to render overtime ng weekend. Tapos magreklamo tayo, di ba? Ano ba yung manager ko? Pinag-OT na naman ako, blah, 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 di ba? So, again, avoid surprises. Be proactive so we will be able to avoid surprises. Next, under-promise and over-deliver, but not to the point that you are under-delivering yung quality. Best example, you have a deadline on Friday, a documentation or whatever on Friday. If you can do and submit it by Thursday, do it. That is what we mean about under-promising and over-delivering. What it can do naman is your credibility will be built. Okay, if G is the one who tells this, I know she can do it because every time she tells this, she can deliver. So that is how we one day at a time, how we build our credibility. It's a small task, but it gives you wonders. So next is establish trust and credibility. Always do that. Kahit if you are in a new team, even if you are in your old team, change as needed. So be agile. Establish trust and credibility because it's easier to say things, to ask for favors if you already have credibility. Diba? If there is already trust. Again, just a quick reminder, trust is being earned. Don't expect trust to be given to you on your day one. Diba? That's why we have 6 months of probationary. Because we have 6 months to prove that we are credible and trustworthy of our role. So let us earn the trust. Let us do ways to earn trust and gain credibility. Lastly, the most important one, I suppose, don't make it transactional. Build genuine relationship. Why? Before I was very transactional with clients, especially when I was just starting, because I didn't have a proper project management training. I was just catching up with trainings for the past 2 years. Kasi afford ko na. Pero before nung nag-umpisa ako, there was no one for me doon. There was no one. So, I was very transactional to the point that it was very awkward in a call. We are waiting for someone to enter is in dead silence. For the first 5 minutes, dead silence. And then once the mag-start, hi, good morning, blah, blah, blah. So small talks can be one way to make the conversation, to build a relationship with your client or with anyone. Again, this is applicable to anyone. And you will be surprised how easy it is to ask for favors, to ask for, hey, we cannot deliver it on Monday. Can we deliver it on Wednesday? You will be surprised how easy you can get a yes if you have a relationship. You don't need to be best friends, by the way. You don't need to be friends, but you need to have at least a good relationship with each one, right? So here's a matrix. Wherein this is the competent jerk versus the lovable fool. Let me just quickly share this one. So there has been a study or a survey wherein they ask people, if you need help, to whom will you go? Will it be to the competent jerk or to lovable fool? To be honest, when they answered that question, like upfront, they answered competent jerk. Competent jerks, ito yung, they're the ones that, they are really good at it. And then we have lovable fool, wherein they are so-so, they can deliver things, but everyone loves them, right? So when they answered that question, they answered competent jerk. But when the situation really happened, surprisingly, they all went to lovable fool. So always remember this. Being likable, you don't, again, you don't need to be best friends with everyone. But being likable can be your career, okay? Yeah, so clients are important and the blood of businesses. Always remember this. Kahit na sinusumpa nyo na yung kliyente nyo, sila yung rason bakit tayo sumasahod currently. But we cannot control, but we can control ourselves on how we can react to that. Next, building not under promise, over deliver. You have a great day today.
Thank you very much, Jeline. I hope everyone got the best insights for your team, how to handle your clients, and hopefully things will be better at work. All right, just another PSA. You can still get another cup of our soybean curd with sugar syrup and pearl. So that is taho. Okay? So kuha lang po kayo sa labas if you want another one. Now our next speaker is a software engineer based in Manila with 3+ years of experience in web application development and mobile development. By day, he applications for Platform One and helps other startups kick off their MVPs, tech stacks, and tech roadmaps. By night, he describes himself as a technista or a tech player, a musician, and a hobbyist photographer. Here to tell you how to integrate Firebase auth to your full stack application, please welcome Juan Miguel Mendoza.
Give me some time. I'll just set up my screen. Okay. Okay, is this working? Okay, I guess that already works. Okay, good morning, everyone. Hi. Can you give me a hooray if you're here, like presently here? Okay. Again, good morning. It's nice to be back after finally 2 years of just facing online, meeting online people and attending conferences virtually. Finally, we've got to see the real faces behind the screens and behind the masks of those. So, of course, again, this morning, we will be talking about how you can use Firebase and integrate it in your full stack application. I guess I'll introduce myself a little bit more. Of course, as of today, I'm a software engineer for Platform One. Platform One is a SaaS provider for financial advisors in the UK. Aside from being a software engineer, actually, fun fact, I have just recently graduated college last August at Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila with a degree of computer science. So I'm not sure if I could still call myself fresh. This already given already the lapse of the months. And also I was the previous GDSC lead for PLM. So actually I was the founder for GDSC PLM at that time. So I'm happy to also see Miss Nee actually because we are sharing the same advocacies as well for GDSC in general. So for this morning, we would be talking about what Firebase Auth is in general, how and why you should use it. Also, we would be diving in some of the prerequisites before you can actually use it in your respective application. And of course, I would show some, unfortunately, due to time constraints, I'll just be showing you some code snippets on how you can integrate it into your application. So just a reminder, this talk would be quite technical in nature. So please bear with me as I talk, but I'll try to minimize or to make it more understandable for you guys. Okay, so let's have some vibe checks. Vibe checks in here first. Can you raise your hand if you're a developer, if you have experience developing apps? It may be like a full stack app, web app, or it may be like a simple app, a mobile app. Just give me some, a raise of hands. Just for vibe check. It doesn't matter if you're just a beginner, you're just starting out, doesn't matter if you're expert, it's okay also. Okay, few hands, interesting. How about some of your, does everyone of you had heard about authentication systems? Have a raise of a hand? Okay, interesting, so less. Okay, I guess that's fine. I guess to define some little terms before we actually really proceed, when we say authentication systems, those are actually parts of your applications that handles authentication workflows. So for instance, logging in a user, registering them into your application, the forget password, all of those the familiar things that we do in an app if we log in. And authentication systems are vital for an app. Actually, when you develop an app, it's the usual first module that you do in a certain application because that dictates how you let your users or how you identify your users to your app. Because of course, it's important as developers that we're customizing the experience of our applications for various users. So for instance, if you're an admin, the UI should be different, or if you're maybe a regular user, it also in a different form. And usually authentication system dictates that kind of experience. So I guess I'll just skip this vibe check, or maybe this another vibe check. For those who raise their hands as they said that they are a developer, can you give me a rating? You can express it using your fingers, like this one, then express it in fingers, or you can shout it if you're ecstatic enough. How can you rate implementing authentication systems in your app? Give me a rating, 1 being the easiest, 10 being the hardest. Any hands? 10, 6, interesting, 5, 6, 3. Wow, interesting, 3. That's cool. 8, 5, 9, 9. Okay. Well, I do also resound with most of you guys. I mean, when I was also starting out building apps for, when I was even in college, and even at the side projects that I have, implementing authentication systems is hard. It's hard in a sense that if you were to build one, you have to consider a lot of things. You have to consider the robustness and the security in itself of your authentication system. So when we say robustness and security, it means that you need to cover all edge cases. So what do we mean by edge cases? So that includes, for instance, if the password of the user has been compromised, how does your app handle? Or for instance, if an access token from your front end has been compromised, what should you do about it as well? And then also, based on the second point, it's also kind of hard to decide how do you keep those credentials. Like for instance, how do you store the password in your databases? And for instance, if you're implementing a Google sign-in, Facebook sign-in in your app, you also have to consider how do you store the client keys, the client IDs rather, the client secrets, and many others. And it's kind of hard because you have to have a good grasp of cybersecurity concepts, and you have to really you have to apply the foundations or the three pillars of cybersecurity, which is the CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and I think it's access. I kind of forgot. Sorry, my cybersecurity professor. And another thing is that uncovered edge cases or use cases in your authentication system might introduce bugs and risks. Of course, in anything that we do with our hands, not everything is perfect. Even though you build a super app, for instance, I wouldn't name. I guess if you build a super app, it's not excluded from bugs. And anything that we do with our hands is always susceptible. And building one, making your own authentication systems put also that risk into your app. And of course, lastly, it takes a lot of time. When it comes to building authentication systems, it has to be progressive. So when we say progressive, it only means that you need to keep on improving your authentication system time by time. Why? Because hackers are getting creative day by day. They are able to surpass your authentication system and bypass it in many creative ways. That is why it is progressive in nature. And sometimes the downside of being progressive in maintaining a certain module in your app is it lessens the time that you spend in developing your core product. So this means that your core product suffers when it comes to features, like, bringing out just the best of your app because you're focusing too much on a single module of your application. That is why would you need to, create things from scratch if Firebase already got your back? And as we all know, Firebase is an all-in-one back-end as-a-service solution that just helps you kickstart your applications from scratch till release. So when we say scratch, Firebase already gives you a lot or a plethora of services that you could use, such as your own database, your own cloud storage, even a container hosting your serverless functions. And also you have services that you could use in order to monitor like the analytics, the performance of your applications, like how bugs are occurring, how frequent they are occurring, and as well as also monitoring your users in terms of their usage. And I guess for today, we would be, of course, focusing with Firebase authentication and what Firebase authentication offers for us and why should we use it. Firebase authentication, again, is one of the gigantic services that Firebase offers to us. And with Firebase authentication, it enables you already to put up authentication system right away into your app. And you will see for later how easy it is to integrate it both in your front end and your backend code. And aside from that, what's great with Firebase Auth is it also gives you a dedicated backend service that already handles all of the workflows, all of the logic, all of the saving, and what more. And usually we can interact with this backend service, which is Firebase Auth, using their developer-friendly SDK. And I would really tell you later on, you'll see how we can log in a user using one-liner code. And also, if you're not really great at designing things, you're kind of hesitant building login forms. Also, Firebase gives you a ready-to-use UI libraries so that you can kickstart your application right away. And lastly, Firebase lets you sign in your users through the following providers. These are not just are some, but are not limited to. Of course, you can use email and password logins to the traditional one. The next one is the passwordless login. So this is like the emerging way of authenticating things, which means you'll be logging in, an email will be sent to you. You'll just have to click a link, and automatically that will let you log in into your application. Third-party OAuth, that includes third-party federated logins, such as Google, signing them using their Google accounts, their Facebook accounts, and many others. And also, if you some of you already downloaded Disney Plus app in your phones? And as you could see, the login method that they use is the mobile phone number. And also Firebase Auth gives you that option as well. And lastly, for enterprises and corporates, actually this is a new introduction by Firebase just last October. They're now enabling you to use your own authentication system and integrate it in your front-end code or in your back-end code using OpenID Connect or SAML protocols. So I think this is more applicable for corporates who has their own authentication system at hand. So why should we use it? Basically, it just circumvents or unblocks us from the previous things that I have mentioned earlier. Minimizing time and effort to build and architect your authentication system. It also reduces risks because, of course, you're already using an existing service rather than creating your own one. So which means we're giving the benefit of the doubt to Google to handle our authentication workflows. And of course, what's great with Firebase is it also offers a very intuitive dashboard wherein you can see the list of users that have already logged in and signed up into your application. And you can also manually reset their passwords and manually even delete them from the list. So here are some of the prerequisites. So if you were to use Firebase Auth and integrate it in your application in general in a full stack way, of course, it's a prerequisite that you create your own Firebase project. So you can just go to firebase.google.com. You can log in using your Google account, existing Google account, and right away you can create a project. There's a big button there that says create new project, and tada, it's just really easy. And of course, after you create your Firebase project, we have to associate our application to the Firebase project that we have created. So in this case, we have to get the necessary config values. So those are just, as we call, keys. So those are just identifications that we supply to our application so that the Firebase SDK would know where to communicate at. So that's for the front-end SDK. And also, we would also need to download the service account, usually in a form of a JSON file. And we'll use that in order to authenticate our backend to the Firebase project. And of course, you'll also have to install the Firebase SDK to your respective project. So in this case, in your front-end project, you have to install the Firebase SDK, and the SDK is officially supported for Android. So if you're developing a native mobile app, even for iOS, it's also supported. And just last October also, the official Firebase SDK is also released for Flutter. Before it was unofficial. And then for JavaScript, if you're into web apps, if you're building web apps, you can use, there's an SDK for JavaScript. And if you're into game development, actually you can also maximize and use Firebase to handle most of your real-time services. So like the real-time flashing, of different assets inside your game. You can use Firebase. And the way you can do it is installing the Firebase either using the C++ SDK or, for instance, the Unity SDK. And also, you have to install the Firebase Admin SDK for your backend project, of course, since it's a full stack app. And the SDK are officially supported at the following platforms. So if you have a backend that is built using Node.js, or for instance, you're using Java like Spring, you can also use that. And also, if you're a data scientist fanboy, you can also go with Python. If you have some Python fanboy projects, you can use the Firebase Admin SDK to communicate with it. And also, you can use Go. There's also support for Go and also for C#. So now, I guess let's dive into the code in itself. So I'll just run through with the code. I'm sure some of you are not that really technical persons. Sometimes some of you are not really understanding code yet. So I'll try to run you down through it. So of course, I have created a demonstration repo. You can take a snap of it so you can maybe visit for later. It's a repository containing a full stack app that will show you how you integrate Firebase SDK web and also the Firebase admin SDK to your backend. And also, the repo also contains my expenses tracker app. So actually, it's just gawa-gawa. So ironically, if you open this website now in your phones, it might look weird. So I highly suggest, because the responsiveness of the site has an issue in phones. So I highly suggest you view it using landscape mode. But if you were to view it in the desktop, there's no problem. So apologies for that. Anyways, so now let's dive into some code demonstration. But I wouldn't show my VS Code, of course. I'll just be showing you some screenshots. So this is how Firebase auth looks in your front-end application. So first of all, you have, by the way, the repository that I have shown you earlier, the project that I have built on it is Expense Tracker app. And the tech stack that I have used for it is Vue 3, Vue.js, and also Nest.js. So Nest.js is for the backend and Vue.js is for the frontend. So because I choose that because that's my go-to stack whenever I have some side gigs or some freelance work to do. So first of all, you have to initialize the Firebase SDK. So again, this is at the front end. This is at your front end code. You have to initialize the Firebase SDK. Usually, you'll just initialize it using a method, as you could see here. It's the initialize app method. And you'll supply an object that contains the values that will associate your app to the Firebase project that you have created. And after that, as you can see here, also we have the auth, get auth, because we're trying to access the Firebase authentication service. Because in order to access most of the Firebase services, you have to first initialize, of course, Firebase inside your application. And then next, again, this is written in TypeScript. So if you're a JavaScript user, this would also look familiar. Also, as you can see here, if we are going to log in a user, you can only see almost one line. This is the only function or the only method that you'll need, which is sign in with email and password. So this is what Firebase Web SDK would give you to log in your user. So as you can see, it's just very simple. You just call that and automatically your user is already authenticated. Of course, we're just catching some errors. Of course, in the case that a user doesn't exist in the Firebase auth or in the Firebase project that you created, it would throw an error, or maybe there's an issue with maybe their email and password as well. And as you could see also, if you were to use Google sign-ins or other third-party OAuth logins, it's also as simple as 3 lines. You'll first determine what kind of OAuth login you'll want to use. So in this case, I want to use Google sign-in, but other providers as well are available, such as Microsoft account, logging in using Apple, logging in using GitHub, and many others. And as you can see, if we already give the provider, we would call this sign in with pop-up function. So what this does is, are you familiar with Google sign-in? Usually what happens there is there's a pop-up, right? It shows a pop-out and then it would let you choose your Google account that you would want to use. So that is what the function will do. And then afterwards, actually, you can stop there. You can have just 2 lines to sign in using Google. But actually, if you want to use other Google products, such as maybe you want to access the user's Google Calendar or to access their Google Drive, you can call this Google Auth Provider again and you'll get the credentials. So when we say credentials, this method or that method will return a credential that includes access token and refresh token to access momentarily the particular Google product you're going to use. So the only disclaimer here is that if you were to use other Google products, like you're going to access their data, you have to adjust certain settings on your Google Cloud. So it requires you to create a Google Cloud project as well and adjust it from there. But anyways, to sum it up, if you were just to go for a Google login or for third-party logins, it's as simple as just two-liners. It's from line 28 till line 29. And of course, as you can see also, we can register a user using email and password with just, again, one-liner. We'll just use the create user with email and password function. And if you want to send out email verification right away, you can call this function send email verification. So as you could see, it's very simple, and you can also see here if you want to send email verification, you can use that method, send email verification. And then if you want to reset their password, like if they click the forget password button in the login form, you just call that send password reset email. And then you can also change their password inside the app as well using the update password function. And then also, what's important, so you see, it's just easy to use Firebase SDK to handle your authentication systems. Because basically, you just have to call a function and then voila, it's already there. And also, what's important in your application is that you have to find your entry file. So usually in various front-end frameworks or platform, you have this entry file. So when we say entry file, this is the first file that gets executed right away as your app started. In this case, since I'm using Vue.js, the app entry for this application is my app.vue file. And as you could see here, there are two lifecycle hooks that we call. So on-mounted means this function gets called if my application has started, or if it gets mounted into my browser, or it's about to get displayed in my browser. So as you could see on the on-mounted function, we have invoked a subscriber, and that subscriber holds on a value coming from the on-auth state change function. So this on-auth state change comes from the Firebase SDK. So this is what we call a event listener. So when we say event listener, it's like a function that runs at the background, and it just listens for events that is happening in your browser. So in this case, we need to have that because we have to monitor if a certain user has logged in, signed in, logged out, reset their password. Because every time they do that, this on-auth state change gets invoked, or they are being run. So what happens is you'll supply a what we call callback function or lambda function. So when we say callback function or lambda function, that's the function that gets executed once that on-auth state change is called. So in this case, in your callback function, you'll have on-auth state change will supply you a value that could be any names, but in this case, I just call it auth user so that I know it comes from Firebase. And auth user contains two possible values. It could be null, like null, the value null, or it could be an object. So if it gives you a null value, that only means there is no user. So Firebase SDK detected, oh, there's no user logged in currently in your app. And if it returns an object, usually it contains details about the user, then therefore there's a user logged in. So you just have to handle it properly inside your app. So that's why we have an if-else statement. And then of course, as your app is closed, so in the case that, for instance, in a web app, your user has closed the tab where your application is, automatically the on before unmount will run. So what this before unmount does is it just it gets run if the application is closed. And in this case, we have to tell on-auth state change to stop. Tumigil ka na listening for any auth changes. Now, this might be quite technical. So Of course, what we just did earlier is just managing the authentication workflow in general. But of course, we still have our own backend, a custom backend outside Firebase. And the problem that we might encounter in this kind of setup is that Firebase, the backend service that you have doesn't know if the request that he or she is receiving is legit. Kumbaga, hindi niya kayang ma-determine if the API request that he got outside from the internet is a legit one. And as we all know, a specific backend should only communicate to a specific front end unless other else front end are talking to it, like a public API. So in this case, we have to have the means to determine at the backend if this request is legit or not. So in this case, what we're doing right now, still at the front end, is we're attaching a bearer token. So what is a bearer token? So this bearer token is what the backend will look at. So the backend would look at this particular string. So this is a string value. And this string value will determine if a particular request is legit. So now what would happen here is we would be using another method named getIDToken. So in this case, it would just get a token from the Firebase SDK, and that token already contains the details of the user who is currently logged in. So what we're doing here is we're attaching that token into our API request as a authorization header. So now let's dive into how Firebase admin looks like at the backend. So again, for my backend, I have used Nest.js to power my backend because it's just really scalable for me and progressive when it comes to building backends. Usually for the backend, it's very, very simple, I would really say. Because first, you'll have, again, similar to the front end, you'll have to initialize the Firebase admin SDK. So again, it's just like telling the backend, hey, connect ka nga sa Firebase project ko. Itong ka. So that is what you're just telling to. So as you could see, there's another familiar method or function that we call, which is initialize app. And we just supply the service account that we have downloaded from the Firebase project. And after that, actually, Firebase is already existing inside your backend app. So in this case, what we're doing here is that every request that we receive outside, we're just going to, this is a middleware. So when we say middleware, it's a function that gets called before your actual function that does the request. So for instance, you have a endpoint or a function maybe at the back end that lets you get all the expenses, since that's an expense tracker app. So a middleware is a function that happens before the actual retrieval of the expenses. So as you can see here in our middleware, what we're doing here is that we're extracting the authorization header, the value in it, and then we're just throwing HTTP errors if the value is not existing. And then if there is a particular value, again, we would be using Firebase under the verify ID token function to determine if the token is legit. Because verify ID token returns two possible states. First state is it would return an object again that contains the details of the user. So for instance, the UID, the email, those details that you could use to verify on your end if this user does exist in your system. But in the case that the token is not valid, which means the token is maybe made up, like some guy just made up, press the keyboard and smash it a lot and put it in the authorization headers, it would throw an error. So those are the two states. So the good thing is it will throw an error, so it automatically, the one who requests that particular API request would know that it's either malfunctioned or it's not valid. So in a general sense, this is how the whole architecture would look like if you were to use Firebase in your full stack application. So as you can see here, you have your front-end project. So this could be in the form of a mobile app, a web app, or even a game. As you can see here, for the instance, let's put our scenario logging in and then getting my expenses. So as you can see here, if we were to log in, again, we will call the sign in with email and password. And then what happens is the credentials are sent over to Firebase using the Firebase Web SDK. Once that the login has been verified, then the user identity, that's an object that will be returned to you. So after that, if you are going to request from the front end to the back end in a form of an API request, you have to attach the users from the front end, their ID token, and attach it as in the authorization header. So in such a way, the back end, again, using the Firebase SDK, will verify the user's auth token, and in the case that the ID token is valid, it would return us a user identity. So as you can see, I would say it's very straightforward if you were to integrate it. And the benefit of it is you're not building a lot of endpoints or making a lot of functionalities at your backend just to handle login or just to handle registering a user, because it's just a breeze. As you could see earlier, we're almost just using one-liners when it comes to using or when we need to handle authentication systems. So I think that's all for my talk. So if you have some questions, please don't be afraid to reach out to me, either through my email at hello@migi.dev. You can scan the QR codes as well. Give me a follow as well on my GitHub account. I follow back. So that's an encouragement. I follow back, you guys. So follow me and I follow back. And then also you can connect with me in LinkedIn. I also connect back. I'm not a snobber, I tell you. And of course, I'm mostly active in Instagram and Twitter, though we all know what's happening in Twitter, right? You can connect with me at Migi Mendoza. And my last words are just, let's get it on. Anyways, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hello. Thank you so much, Nikki. I hope everyone who raised that authentication 10 earlier get to use Firebase for an easier authentication of their application. All right. So that was our first half of the event. For now, we're going on our lunch break. Just a reminder that we are not allowed to bring outside food into this hall, but you can find restaurants all over SM Aura. We also have our 360 video booth by our partner Hooray 360. So feel free to check it out along with our sponsor booths. I believe PWA Philippines is also giving away free stuff. For online posting, please use hashtag GDG, hashtag GDG Manila, hashtag Devfest 2022, and hashtag Devfest Manila. And after your lunch, make sure to pass by our Filipino dessert booths outside, such as taho, cotton candy, and sorbetes, so you can feel our Pinoy birthday feels. Also, before you go, make sure to be back here at 12:50 so you can join our Kahoot to win a GDG jacket. All right. So eat fast, no, so you can still join our mini game for later. All right. Thanks everyone. Eat well and have your lunch break. See you guys later.
Nice one, Era.
Developer student clubs are university-based communities where students learn about Google technology and use their skills to solve local problems. There are over 700 clubs all over the world. From North America to Europe, Africa, and across Asia, we encourage more students to join or start a developer student club at their university.
Some students have overcome personal barriers with the help of their DC community on their journey to become developers. These clubs help student developers learn through hands-on workshops. They then identify challenges faced by local businesses, NGOs, and sometimes even their own universities and build real solutions for real problems.
The workshops that we had was Firebase, Actions on Google, and we're about to do ML. It's an amazing experience to learn about the impact that the technologies that can provide in our local communities.
DSE is a family, and it's not just about the programming, it's about the learning of teamwork and leadership.
A lot of villages face the problem of water, farming, floods. Maybe we can develop applications to solve this problem. Might be very ambitious for us as students to say that, but nothing is impossible. We can do it.
Developer student clubs around the world have already impacted so many students in their universities and people in their community. The future is bright for the next generation of students.
Some people think that they will never be considered an expert, but if you love what you do and you do it many, many times, you're becoming an expert whether you planned it or not. When I became a mother, I was expected to slow down my career. But I felt like moving even faster. I meet so many young women, and they are all so smart and passionate. I believe that my children would be inspired if they see that I keep investing in my career and my community.
Let's see. I like cooking, I like cycling, I started playing the piano like everyone else, and I love teaching. When I finished college, I started doing Android development, and I was getting good at it. And some friends told me, you should totally give tech talk about Android development. But in that time, my English was not that good. And then I realized, if I don't speak a good English, many other developers from my country will face the same issue.
Bem-vindos a mais DevFest.
So we started an Android community that teaches and connects developers in our own language. There's always something you can do for other developers. If you don't speak good English, that's okay. Speak your own language. Teach your community what you know and learn yourself from other experts.
When I was a teen in Nigeria, I really fell in love with the web and I just really wanted to be a web designer. But unfortunately, I ended up becoming a lawyer. After a few years, I realized that I was still that teenage girl just wanting to design for the web. I remember when this was all like gibberish to me.
You know, you can just learn it on the internet.
Right? So I decided I was going to go for it. Me and the experts on YouTube. Modern layouts. Since I became a GDE, one of the biggest things that's changed is like my imposter syndrome. I mean, even when I got to the experts program, I would still feel like, but I'm not an expert. But then if Google thinks I'm an expert, then that's saying something, right? I keep thinking about all the experts that taught me when I was still a junior learning. And now I'm an expert too. All it took was hard work, perseverance, and having the passion to keep going even when it's tough. This is our time, right?
Please write down your answer to I'm remarkable because.
So I'm remarkable because. It's really hard. Okay, I'm done.
How did it feel to write it?
Weird. Hard.
Would you mind reading it out loud?
Oh my god. I'm remarkable. I'm remarkable because all the kids that I have taught actually love me and they still remember me till this day. After I turned 40, for the first time in my life, I also tried things that I'm not very good at.
I can rhyme really well, but don't ask me to right